And joining us now is Texas Democrat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who is also the national co-chair of the Harris Walz campaign. Congresswoman, we thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to begin with the developments in the Middle East. Republicans are claiming the Biden administration is to blame for Iran's attack on Israel. House Republican leadership sent out a joint statement saying, quote, the world should know that the United States will stand with Israel. What's your response to that tonight?
Yeah, you know, it is so sad that they have decided that they are going to politicize something as wild as this war in the Middle East. Listen, we've got real issues. Obviously, we know that Iran has decided that they are going to take a level of aggression that is unacceptable, and it should be unacceptable in a bipartisan way. We know that Iran decided to do this because they have been backing these various terrorist organizations as they've been designated by the United States. And so it should never be okay for a state actor to then decide that they are going to launch missiles over into another state because they are basically looking out for a terrorist organization. And I don't think that that should be anything that's political. I think that while people may question where we stand as it relates to our support for various allies, and it's only been because of the Republicans being in control of the House that we have not seen better support for some of our friends and allies. But at the end of the day, I think we all stand and say that we are against terrorism, and the right thing to do was to make sure that Israel was protected because Iran was absolutely in the wrong.
And just to follow up on that, back in April, you voted in favor of aid for Israel. Do you think, given the recent events, that there should be conditions put on that aid?
Listen, I think that we need to continue to evaluate what's going on and make those decisions as they're happening because, as you can see, they are consistently changing. You know, when we ended up doing aid back then, they were looking at the war, and it seems like it was just kind of a bit contained. It seems like this war is continuing to spread, as we've seen what's taking place with Hezbollah. And so I think that it is a matter of determining kind of where we are and what all is going on. Obviously, if Iran continues down this path, that will provide for kind of a different set of circumstances as it relates to what aid should look like. So I don't think that we should necessarily make a decision at this point in time because we honestly don't know what's going to be necessary.
And turning now to the topic of abortion, you've been on the Reproductive Freedom Bus Tour, and just this week, a Georgia court ruled that the state's 6-week ban on abortion is unconstitutional. Do you see this as progress in the fight for reproductive freedom in the South, and could it have further implications in places like Texas?
In my dreams. In my dreams. I mean, you know, I am an attorney, and so unfortunately I know that the court that made the decision in Georgia, while that is a step in the right direction, we know that there are so many courts that are higher than this particular court, and we know that the court of finality is Trump's court. It is Trump's court that decided to turn over Roe v. Wade in the first place, and so no, I don't trust his justices to do right, especially by women in this country. And so while I appreciate that we have this courageous judge in Fulton County that absolutely did what a judge should do and is trying to bring back some semblance of hope and respectability within our courts and within medical access or healthcare access for women across the country, I don't see Texas following suit for sure. And I definitely don't trust this current Supreme Court.
And lastly, Congresswoman, I just want to talk to you about the border for a moment. Vice President Harris has said that she will bring back the bill that former President Trump helped to kill. You've expressed your frustration when that happened, talking about the impact to agents in border communities. How much of a concern is that still? And what do the American people need to know about immigration that maybe neither candidate is addressing?
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I think they need to know that a lot of people really aren't talking about, I guess we're starting to scratch the surface, is when we talk about Springfield, Ohio. You know, right now, what we see is Republicans are acting as if anyone is trying to enter this country, they are entering this country to hurt us. And they're not talking about the economic value add that we end up having when we have legal immigration. And so what we've seen in Springfield, Ohio is honestly what we need to do more of. We need to make sure that the resources are available so that those people that actually want to contribute to our economy are welcomed and able to come because this is a land of immigrants. But we also need to make sure that we are safe and that the bad guys aren't getting in. But another thing that they continue to do that we're not talking about is that it's Americans that are bringing over 90% of the fentanyl across the border. So while the images of those those that are fleeing whatever conditions exist in Haiti or whatever other countries they're coming from, because there's been a destabilization in their economic opportunities or their government. They are coming and risking their lives not to harm us, but they are coming seeking a better life. And the fact that we sit there and we dehumanize people that are trying to make this country better is what's wrong in this country, specifically with politics today. And so I am asking that they put on their big boy pants and they start to be honest, because we are having these conversations with businesses all over the country that are saying, we need you guys to invest in legal immigration because we need these workers. Right now, we are almost at our record low for unemployment, and we have so many employers that are looking for people that are just looking for a good, honest day's work. And I can tell you that the vast majority of those migrants, that's all they're doing, is looking for a good, honest day's work.
Congresswoman Crockett, so appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.